sailboat in the moonlight and June. Wouldn't that be heaven? Oh, heaven just for two. A soft breeze on a June night and June. What a perfect setting for letting dreams come true.
Last time on Wind Over Water.
Wow.
Well, I guess that's kind of the end of the story for this year. This is what broke. Let's see where I've cut it. It broke off right here. So it actually snapped the strands. And looking inside, I see that the sheaves that the cable runs on are not in good condition. So I think we're going to do some major surgery this year. They've got some tradesmen that can do the work for us. And Windover is going to get put to bed on September the 7th. That's what, about 3 months of sailing we've had in 3 years. So anyway, here she sits. Another good day on the good ship Windover. We are actually, I'll show you, we are on the hard. And got a little project I'm doing right now. I've got a little problem with the centerboard pennant. That's the cable that lifts the centerboard. When the cable is broken, I actually draw 10 feet, so it's a little bit fun getting in and out of marinas, as you can imagine. But in order to get at all the routing for the cabling, I've got to remove my wonderful Battleborn batteries that have served us so well this season, and so we've got to take them out. I've got one battery over here in the corner, and then I've got 3 over here on this side, down in here. And the plan is to remove these 3 and use the one lone battery as a house system. I've got to label everything nicely and make sure that it all can go back on the way I took it off. Show you what we have to do here in order to remedy this broken centerboard pennant. Basically, we start up top here. This is where the winch is, and the cable goes from the winch through a sheave that turns at 90 degrees, and it comes down through this pipe. And once it comes through the pipe, it makes another turn right there. You see that? And then we go over here, and it makes another turn down in there. And I'll just point it out to you here. There's the other turn right there. You can barely see it. But essentially, we've got to cut out where I put this yellow tape in order to gain access. I've removed all the batteries. So our beautiful Battleborn batteries will be stored here, and our starting batteries over here, and that way we've got lots of nice easy access. I've still got the old cable in there, and we can use that to help guide a new cable in, but my suspicion is it's going to be nasty regardless. So anyway, nice to be back on board. Winter's here. Well, I would say it's nice to be back at the boat again, but frankly it's not very nice out. It's a little bit milder than it has been for some time now, and quite windy as well. I'll try to get out of the wind here. But, basically today we're going to try and get started on that repair, which has been plaguing us with the cable for the centerboard. So I've got some new tools I want to try out and new techniques, and I want to just go and do some experimenting right now to see if it'll work. It's probably pretty windy right out here, so let's get this ladder set up and get ourselves going. Well, the boat has definitely fared well. I'm looking at this canvas cover here, and it seems to be holding together quite well. It is open at the bow, but I don't think that's going to be a problem, really. And at the stern here, I've got a few loads of snow that are kind of pushing down. They found a little pocket to fill up, but I'll push those off before I go. They're not really doing any damage. The whole boat is kind of covered in a film of dust, which is essentially the canvas off of this material here. As it decays from all the movement, it leaves this sort of residue of dust all over the boat. But yeah, she's a little bit dirty, but better than being covered with snow and wet, which is the one thing you don't want on your decks, water. So all good. Let's go down below and have a look. These are called a trim saw, I've heard them called. Heard them called a plunge saw. And basically it's a vibrating tool. It doesn't rotate, it just vibrates. And you can use it for cutting in tight quarters. So the plan is that I'm going to cut out, first of all, an access area in the battery box. And then second, I'm planning on cutting out the channel. That's all fiberglassed in. It's fiberglass to the bottom of the floor. It's fiberglass to the bottom of the hull, just over the exit hole where the cable goes out to attach to the centerboard. And I'm going to lift that entire structure out with a plan to open it up, kind of split it in half. We'll likely do that with Nathan at Nye Boat Works. And then once it's split in half, we can see what kind of sheaves are inside. I can get those ordered. I believe they are Edson sheaves, the same as you would see on the bottom of a binnacle, say. So Edson makes some nice bronze sheaves. We're going to replace them with those, I suspect, and glue them all back up together so we have the same configuration, same layout, but new guts in the whole system again. That's the plan going forward. All plans are subject to change as we move along, but you're going to join us as we do that. I've just got this little doodad here to try out today, and if this fails, well, we're going to have to call in the big leagues. I was going to use the staff here at Loyalist Cove Marina, a great facility here in Bath, Ontario, and they've run into some issues with staffing right now. They don't have enough people to do the work. And they're missing a fiberglass guy, which is what we really need here. So I'm going to be that guy, and let's dig in. that's over with. Boy, that trim saw works fantastic. Here, and this is going to surprise you, here's the inside of the last sheave. This is the one that actually turns toward the water. Can you see what's going on in there? I suspect that's why it was so hard to reel up. Isn't that something? So we've got to make that flat again. We're going to have to recast this. But I also had to cut the pipe in half because I couldn't twist this to get it off and not twist this, which is the other half of the arrangement. This one I haven't opened up yet, but you see how it was fiberglass to the underside of the floor. That's the little lip that holds the lid in there. And it was kind of rotten, actually. A lot of water had been running down there. Isn't that nice? Fiberglass tube. So this is going to be a lot easier than I thought. I do want to go down below right now and just make absolutely certain that I can get the cable down through the hole in the top of the centerboard trunk. So let's go down and have a look at that. Here's what it looks like after I cut it off. And you can kind of see where, I'll point it out here, you can kind of see where the cable had been cutting a groove. But let's see what we got down here. Oh, sweet. So there's my keel, and if I pull that up, I probably have 4 inches there, so that should be fine. So, okay, I'm going to take my chilly fingers and my runny nose home, and next I think we're going to go into Nye Boat Works in Foxborough and talk to Nathan about how best to reconstruct this whole thing. He might have a good idea as to how to even improve upon it. There's a few things that I find a little troubling to have below the waterline, especially those very thin fiberglass tubes that have done a good job for 40 years, I suppose, but my goodness, they're not very big around. I mean, the cable ever rubbed through them, you could potentially have a leak there. So anyway, happy how it went, and I'm glad you all could join me, and well, let's see what kind of trouble we can get into down the road. If you want to help us with the production of these videos, you can do so by becoming a patron. The Patreon link is down below. We also have a PayPal account. I mean, if you want to throw a few bucks in to assist in the production of these videos, you can do so. No pressure, mind you, and you're welcome to just subscribe, which would be most helpful with the algorithms that be. So just click on that subscribe button, give us a like, and throw down a comment if there's something you'd like to know or something you'd like to suggest. We're always happy to get your suggestions. Anyway, Windover is looking really good. I think she's going to make it through the winter. Another couple of months to go, and we'll be on the water. Stay tuned. So the next thing we have to do now is get the, oops.
Talk to me.